Light Wolf here. It is hot in the south. Um, Lately, I've been into studying the Holy Bible, the Christian King James 1611 Bible, and just getting familiar with the verses and the universal wisdom that is contained within that uh, spiritual literature. And so today I'd like to give you a verse. I know it's been a while since I posted any videos, and a lot of it's because it just takes forever to make videos, and I'm, working on other things, and it just hasn't been part of something I've had time to do lately. So when I'm trying something new, just making a spontaneous video with my phone cam. So I was learning a verse last night that was very powerful. I was watching this old show that was available on Amazon with David Carradine called Kung Fu. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever seen the Kung Fu TV series, but it's very much full of natural wisdom about, how to deal with people and relationships and how to look at life and how to handle sorrow and sadness, the same types of things any religion or spiritual system tries to deal with. The human condition, in other words. It's a very, very insightful TV show. Anyway, there was an episode where a little Chinese boy was running away from his master because he was actually a slave to this Christian lady. Now, it takes place in the 1800s, so we're thinking Old West cowboy days. And he was running away from her because he thought that her God was more powerful than the power of the Chinese Tong gangster warlords who he was a slave under. What he did was he went to her and he sought sanctuary and protection from this lady, this Christian lady. Later on, the main protagonist, hero of the show, his name is Caine. He's the one that knows all the Kung Fu. So Caine is there right about the same time, sees what's going on, and he ends up talking to the lady, and she says, are you going to fight them? And he says, no. Basically, one shouldn't fight if one doesn't have to, and one should do everything to try to avoid having to fight, even if they're skilled fighters, which he obviously was as a Shaolin priest. And he ends up quoting her something from, I believe it's a Tao, something from the Tao, whatever that literature book is. I don't think it's the I Ching, but I think it's something else. In any case, it was something to the effect of, if one avoids contending, which contending means fighting, contending with others, then one has nothing to, something about contending. Anyway, she said, you're quoting the Bible. And he says, I have not read this Bible of yours. And then she quotes this verse in Matthew. So I believe it's Matthew 5:38. I believe it's Matthew 5:38 or 39, maybe 37. But it's right around in there. And so I looked it up last night because it was very powerful. And it's the whole part. You've heard it before. Most of us have heard it before. Let's see, there's Bella out there. She wants to be in the video. Most of us have heard it before. It's the old saw about turn the other cheek. But most of us also have not heard the whole thing. And to hear these two verses side by side gives you more context on what the true meaning of turn the other cheek is. So I'm going to try to recite for you this verse from Matthew, 5th chapter. I think it's the 38th verse, but I could be wrong about that, 38 and 39. I know I'm going to get this wrong. I just had it. Okay, here we go. Ye hath heard it said. That's it. Ye hath heard it said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall strike thee on thy right cheek, turn to him also the other. Very interesting, huh? So what we learn from this passage is that it's not just, hey, if somebody hits you, turn the other cheek and let them hit you on the other side. Let them keep beating you or something. But what it's saying is in contrast to the Old Testament. Jesus was speaking in contrast to the Old Testament, which had told people, well, if somebody steals something from you, then you can steal that back from them. If somebody stabs you in the eye, then you can stab them in their eye, and that'll be perfectly justified. Jesus was saying this is not the way, and this is not justified. In fact, if somebody attacks you or does something violent or brings evil upon you, to not fight against it, but to yield to it. Now, that's not saying become evil or allow yourself to get beat up. There's more context to it. It's in a whole selection of verses in Matthew chapter 5. But let this be an inspiration for you to look this up yourself and see what it means, and how can this be a powerful message in your life that Spirit is trying to communicate to you today. This has been Light Wolf. The date today is June 26, 2018. Have a blessed day and a blessed week.